This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News. Now, if you guys have watched some of our recent videos or our Tuesday night show, we've talked a little bit about having a USB charging station at your wedding events. I actually had a couple of problems, and I thought, hey, I'd give that a try. So what I did is I set up a table, small table off to the side, where I had a USB charging device. So people or kids could come up with their phones and plug those in. Well, I wanted to find something that would be able to charge not only the older phones that can use the 1 amp charging capability, but the more modern cell phones need to have 2 or 3 amp charging capability. So I went out and purchased this guy. This is from Rave Power. This is a RAV Power, I should say, RAV Power. We'll put links in the description below so you guys can go check this out. But it is a 6-port USB charging device. It plugs into the wall, AC. But I had 2 of these, and I picked up a variety of different short cables, so that way everything would be kind of contained on the table. I could set this in the middle of the table and put a little bit of gaff tape on it to hold it in the center of the table, and then could have the different devices. I ended up at first, I think I've got 3 or 4 different colors, and these are the Apple version for the iPhones, and then I had some for Droid. Started out in both cases with the 2 problems that I used this at. I started with 3 and 3, thinking that would be the case that the kids, would use it that way. Ended up using generally 4 Apple and 2 Droid. And a second time, this particular one had 5 Apple and 1 Droid. Then the other one had, I think that one stayed like 50-50 with that one. So the little device, though, can put out about 3 amps per device. So what that means is that this could charge tablets. It could charge all the different cell phones. And the one particular, the first problem, I was paying more attention to it just to see what it could do. It had 4 iPhone 6 Plus size, the larger size phones. It had 4 of those, and then it had maybe a 5C, 5S, what have you, and then it had the Droid. It was able to charge all of those up. In the case of the bigger iPhones, it took them from 50% up to about 90% during about 1 hour, hour and a half, what have you, of the day. So it was charging very, very well. Not a very expensive little piece. I think it $30 or what have you. Again, link description below. Go check it out. But a very neat little idea for weddings and such. So I'm going to be doing this at my weddings also, setting up a little 4-foot table, putting 2 of these on. Again, putting a little gaff tape on the cord to keep it kind of centered in the middle of the table so that the devices with these little shorter cords. And I'll put the link for these also because you can buy them in groups of, I think there were 3 or 6 or whatever, and they were not very much at all. Just a great idea for people to be able to keep their devices charged. If they're out on your dance floor, they can come over, they can plug it in, they can go and dance and such, and then I can kind of keep an eye on the devices and make sure that they aren't being messed with and such. Yeah, kind of a neat thing. One thing I did, though, for everyone who came up, I made sure to say, hey, guys, it's here. It's a service for you, but I'm not going to be responsible if somebody comes up and messes with your phone because I can't be watching your phone. That's what I was telling you, even though I was kind of paying attention to it. But I don't want to be responsible for somebody bringing their phone up and then a friend coming up and taking their phone, and then we've got that whole thing. So I gave that little disclaimer. It's here if you want to use it. If not, the kids were plugging their cell phones in around the room in past proms, so I figured that this might be a better option. It seemed to work very well. I didn't have any problems, and the kids really liked it. Link in the description below so you guys can go check this out. But this is something new that we're using for USB charging stations at our events.